with my experience, diversity is a consequence by day-to-day sort of kind of leadership empowerment to each one of the individual.
Hello and welcome for another episode where we do meet very unusual and very exciting colleagues and friends and peers. And today, my guest is Kazushi Ambe. Welcome to the program. And let me tell you a little bit about Kaz, because he's got quite a distinguished career with Sony. He's president of Sony Corporation of America. He played a key role in establishing Sony Ericsson Mobile Communications in 2001. And in 2006, he oversaw HR governance and key initiatives for Sony's. In 2023, he expanded his responsibilities to include retired very recently and currently serves as president of Sony University. Kaz, welcome to the program. So good to have you here.
Thank you so very much, Magda.
So,
very nice to see you.
So very long career with the same organization. That doesn't happen so much anymore. Could you tell us a little bit? I know, as I was reading your resume, yes, it's Sony, but there are so many different positions, so many different localities. So how is it that you stayed with the same organization for so long?
Magda, thank you so very much. Yes, first of all, thank you for your really kind of kind introduction. And yes, exactly, yes, quite long time. I really enjoy my career at Sony. And 41 years, I just really can work for one company. Wow, my goodness, that's really probably a bit longer than I thought. In the past, in Japan, a sort of kind of lifelong employment has been pretty common, but nowadays it's changed quite rapidly. And the people, for their career progress, they just really kind of choose the place to work for the best for their career. So it is getting a bit sort of kind of uncommon. However, still, it's pretty common. And at the same time, as you said, Sony has a very diverse range of the business. So although stay in the same company, I could enjoy the different kind of the job. But at the same time, I think the value of the corporate culture, I think, means a lot nowadays, particularly. And frankly, I really kind of enjoy the culture of the corporate culture of Sony.
That's great. That's great. And you again, you served in many different countries. Did you see a difference in the culture of the same organization depending on the locality? Were there any nuances, any differences that you observed? Working in
That's a
the
good
UK, US, Sweden, and Japan, of course.
Yes, I think that's a good question. And clearly, there is a difference by region, and probably to the same degree, I see the difference by the industry. So by sort of kind of spending time in Sweden and US and Britain and Japan, clearly kind of there is a difference. At the same time, working for the semiconductor and then technology and then music and pictures
Yeah,
and
entertainment.
game, they are so different. However, there is some common embedded, some similar the value, I think, which is pretty well resonate with all of the different type of the organization. So I think that would be some sort of kind of a hybrid between some common similar platform as well as a very diverse and a different sort of culture in the region and in the business unit.
Yeah, I think that this is something that especially large multinational organizations are tackling, if not struggling with, right? How do you maintain the culture of the organization and be respectful, mindful, and appreciative of local cultures and local needs? So that's really very interesting, and you did tackle the some way say a touch bit prickly subject of diversity.
Mm.
in the organization. When we met for the
Yeah.
first time at the HR Summit, you delivered a very passionate a presentation about importance of diversity in
Mm.
organizations. Do you mind sharing a little bit more with us? Because you were talking so eloquently about empowerment. You were talking about the embracing individuals as they are, and how to be able to create the culture of the organization with the focus on an individual, and then how really it increases the success of the
Mm.
organization. Could you share with us a little bit of that?
Sure. Yes. Thank you for really addressing the diversity in that way, which I just presented at the summit. Um,
Mm,
with my experience, diversity is a consequence by day-to-day sort of kind of leadership empowerment to the each one of the individual.
mhm,
By nature, since Sony now has the six business segment, we need to really kind of empower each independent business because it's so different by each business. And
mhm,
in order for Sony to really kind of sustain the growth, rather than try to control the different kind of the industry, by sharing the direction, we try to empower each business. And then that's really kind of somehow embedded in mindset of each leader. So
uh-huh,
same way among the leadership team, we try to make it sure how we can best empower the individual business,
mhm.
individual organization, and individual employees. That would consequently lead us to really kind of yes, embrace the diversity in the organization.
Sure.
So, yeah, very easy to say, very
Exactly right.
but anyway, I think that's a really kind of yeah, somehow the culture which has been embedded in the company.
Yeah. So from the beginning in the design of the program, clearly there was the organization one mandate to bring diversity to the organization. Did you set any specific measures to see the impact of that initiative?
Yes, and although I said really kind of diversity is a consequence of empowering kind of all individual, that said, we need to really kind of keep monitoring kind of how that
Right.
empowerment is now working. So the measurement is quite important to really kind of monitor the where we are, and we need to be really kind of reminded of where there is some missing opportunity kind of exists.
Mhm,
So for
mhm,
that purpose, we try to measure typical sort of measurement, like the management ratio of the gender and the how the people are really kind of feeling about empowerment from their
mhm,
perspective. So pretty kind of similar. We don't do anything kind of yes unique. But the annual employee engagement survey created
mhm,
every year the cover the topic of the diversity, and we try to really kind of monitor the voices from the employees and from the
mhm.
businesses how they feel they are empowered, and those are the two sort of a kind of a major the index we try to use to measure the diversity.
Sure, sure, makes perfect sense. Do you observe difference in how different generations respond to this initiative?
Yeah, that's another very good question. I see, particularly kind of I see the diversity in a way, the differences in a way of thinking and how to face the real challenges are pretty differed by the generation rather than I would say
Right.
sometimes rather than the gender and sometimes rather than the kind of yes the region. So, but
Uh-huh.
all are really based upon the differences and the different opinion, a different perspective should be valued to really kind of the embrace the creativity
Mhm,
and innovation. So we should appreciate that. Said, we need to really kind of yes the better understand where the different the way of thinking is coming. it's a challenge, but at the same time, I think that's a really good opportunity as well.
Well, it's a reality, right? We
Yes,
just
indeed.
have, some would say 5 generations, some would say 7 generations working side by side in organization, and especially a large one like Sony. That's
Mhm.
for sure the case. You just said that it's important to hear different voices and engage different voices. Do you have any specific mechanism, an information or input loop that people can submit, share their ideas for maybe differences or changes or improvements in your business, or is it just organic?
Um, Pretty much kind of an organic way. However, sometimes kind of yes, unless we try to influence them to really kind of keep mindful about the really kind of a value of the diversity, uh,
Mm,
people tend to really kind of become sort of kind of yes more enjoying the comfortable zone. So
yeah,
in order
yeah.
for us to challenge the organization and challenge the leader, we try to remind the managers uh, the value of the diversity. So, for example, we conduct some program uh, promoting them to have an opportunity and
Hmm,
encounter the different opinions, like the space where we invite them from the different organizations to come together, which sort of kind of yes exists in a different region, and we try to consolidate sort of kind of yeah offices into the one place.
oh,
In the
that's great.
past, uh, hardware division and semiconductor and music and video, the movie and the game tend to really kind of stay in their own spaces. And sometimes we try
Mhm.
to really kind of encourage them to come together in the same site. And some of the case, kind of, yeah, we share the same space. That worked pretty well. And also, as a sort of HR program, the cross mentoring system, which recently we started. And we
Mhm.
assign a mentor and a mentee completely from the different organization. So semiconductor engineer has never have any experience to really kind of have a dialogue with the executive in the music sort of industry. And it's very difficult to do in a normal industry, but within Sony, we do have both. So every year, we select really kind of a mentor and a mentee, and then we connect them across the different organization. And that has been pretty well received, and they enjoy not only from mentor but also mentee point of view. That's very interesting trial.
Yeah, yeah, you don't hear many of those stories, and yeah, it possibly can be a little jarring for them to step into that space.
Yes.
That's fascinating. That's really fascinating. So you mentioned mentoring. Do you have a formal mentoring program? Do you prepare your mentors to step into that space? Is it voluntary? Is it a requirement of a job? How do you do it?
As a really kind of systemic sort of kind of a mentoring system, we sort of kind of a facilitate from the headquarters, CHRO office. However, each business has got a different sort of kind of the mentoring system, and I defer those to the each CHRO in each business. Since Sony has a 6 business segment, and we do have a really kind of 8 CHRO in each business, and some of the business has got a 2 CHRO. So
Wow.
those are the really kind of very much focusing on their own business, and I defer how to make the best use of the mentor based upon the nature of the businesses. So it's a really kind of a two hybrid, and one mentoring system is being done remanaged by the business unit, and then overall Sony Group corporation wide, the headquarter, my office, kind of coordinate, particularly kind of the cross mentoring across business units, which I
That's
explained.
okay. So that's where you like to play, huh?
Mm, mm.
Yeah. So okay. So we talk about mentoring. How about coaching? Does Sony Corporation use professional coaching?
Yes, I think the coaching is now really kind of getting more and more important. And since I would say kind of during my career, 41 years, the complexity in the world just keep kind of, yes, increasing. And the stakeholders really perspective is also really going to be, yes, progressing a lot. And in order
Mm-hmm.
for us to best support really kind of our leaders, I think the coaching is getting more and more important. And at the same time, Sony is now going to celebrate 80 years anniversary since the establishment day one of the Sony Corporation. During that long time, we value the corporate culture, as I said. And to me, the corporate culture is really kind of a consolidation of the behavior of the leaders. We can
Mm.
say kind of nice things in the words, and we can send a really kind of nice message by the video, and we can quote a lot of really kind of nice saying from the founders and the key
Mm.
executives. But unless really kind of all our sort of friends in the organization see as demonstrated by the leaders, it's just only something written on a paper. So the coaching is very important for the leaders to make sure they are living with their values, which really represent a sort of the corporate culture. So we are now very kind of, yes, very much intensively kind of looking into the how best we can facilitate coaching for the
Mhm.
leaders.
Right, right. So, so coaching for the leaders, yes, this is something that we see in many organizations as a first step, to your
Mm,
point, and then we see that organizations that maybe have a little bit more established coaching culture, they also offer it to their high potentials. They offer it to maybe people stepping or being in a pipeline
mm,
for leadership positions.
mm.
Is there any thought about that within the Sony Corporation to extend the potential of the access to coaching to others rather than leaders alone?
Yes, I think I really gonna be at a hope to really gonna be broaden the scope of the coaching support. However, we are still really gonna working on a senior level because I still see that some of the different perspective about the coaching. And
Of
some
course.
industry or some sort of individuals are very keen to really kind of enjoy and then take an advantage of having a coach.
Mm.
On the other hand side, some industry and some individual are still a bit sort of kind of cautious, or I would
Yeah, a
say
little
not so.
skeptical. Absolutely. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say yes, skeptical, yes. So my challenge is to how to really kind of, yes, make sure they really understand the true value of the coaching. We cannot force the leaders to have the
No.
really kind of coaching. No.
No, no, and our philosophy, our ICF's philosophy of
Mm,
coaching, you cannot force coaching on anybody because
mm,
the client, the recipient of coaching has to be willing to
mm,
participate because ultimately the hard work is on the client side and
mm,
not necessarily on the coach side, right? As far
mm.
as being open, being forthcoming, and being willing to
Yeah.
accept a change. So
Mm,
yeah, certainly,
mm,
certainly. Wow, 40 years with the organizations. That's amazing.
mm.
And so you stepped down from your executive positions, right,
Yeah.
recently, and now you
Mhm,
lead the Sony University. Would you
mhm.
mind to share with us a little bit more about what Sony University is?
Yes, absolutely. Kind of yes. Since I've been really going to be in charge of some executive role of the HR, this is a bit sort of a unique feeling I'm really kind of having. And I would say I'm very much enjoying by being completely released from some huge responsibility. And I can spend all my time to really kind of, yes, with the future leaders, which is honestly
Hmm.
very fun and very sort of kind of, yes, exciting sort of the mission. So I really kind of, yes, so grateful to the CEO who asked me to really take on this role. How to really kind of share the value of the corporation with the future next generation? I think this is very important, and this is very sort of kind of, yes, and a fun work. Same time, keep reminding them to be really kind of very cautious about the change of the environment. I think that's very crucial for the Sony to sustain the growth as a really company. So making sure they really kind of sort of kind of growing in the same value, but at the same time by sharing the same sort of kind of the mindset, how to be mindful about the changes surrounding us. Those are the two big challenge and an opportunity for the Sony. So by really kind of staying on the president role of the Sony University, I can focusing on those big two missions, which is very strategically important, and then also it's very exciting role as well.
Sure, that's a fantastic initiative, and I think that many can be jealous for Sony having this great initiative. So, if you don't mind, and I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but what are the greatest opportunities and the greatest threats to the growth of Sony Corporation from your perspective?
Yes, seriously, kind of although I said kind of keep saying kind of Sony has a unique sort of kind of a setup by having a 6 different business segments. From financial point of view, it can easily fall into the kind of a situation where we call conglomerate discount. And since we organize a different organization under the one umbrella, this can easily kind of undervaluing kind of or the each independent business value. So if we just theoretically kind of calculate each business unit's value and then add it up, the total can easily exceed current Sony's kind of enterprise value. And that's area where the sort of kind of a very active investor really kind of criticize us. Why Sony keep different business under the one umbrella? And this is really kind of damaging the value of the shareholders. So we need to really make it sure that how the unique value is really kind of created by staying together under the Sony. So this is a huge challenge, and this really value creation over the different business is really kind of a challenge and an opportunity, and this needs to be demonstrated by the leaders. So this is another really kind of role of the Sony University to make it sure to work together beyond the organization. New latest CEO Hiro Totoki, who keeps saying kind of all of you to be a boundary spanner. So please just go beyond the boundary of the organization. I think this is a really kind of a big challenge and an opportunity for the Sony.
As well. Yeah. Well, that is quite fascinating, and indeed we can't predict the future, but as I don't remember who said that, but it's like we're not here to solve the future, we're here to or predict the future, we're here to prepare for the future. So that investment in young leadership, future leadership, I think it's a very mindful thing to do for the corporation. And in a management sphere, in leadership sphere, there is a lot of talk lately about the need for purposeful leadership, meaning that the leaders, and you made that point several times, the leaders have to role model that ability to speak to the purpose and the mission of the organization, and being able to articulate how every person in the organization feeds into accomplishing of that goal and that purpose. So again, the university seems to be a fantastic place to have that seed planted, if nothing else.
I appreciate you said that, because kind of a former CEO Kenichiro Yoshida, after giving it a big thought, kind of how you can just keep all independent business unit to be empowered while we share the same value, he decided to redefine our corporate culture by setting the purpose, and which was put in place 2019, and that's I think worked pretty well. He set the really purpose. Sony's purpose is to fill the world with emotion through the power of creativity and technology. And this purpose pretty well sort of going to be a fit to the all different business unit. And I
Mm-hmm.
really see the power of really kind of a purpose, as you said. So um,
Exactly.
since the really kind of a complexity is increasing, and again importance of the really kind of setting something like this is also the pretty important to just manage the organization to move towards the same direction.
Yeah, that's quite exciting. You said 2019 that no
Mm.
vision has been created for the organization. So funny you should say that because ICF restructured itself in 2019 as well.
Really?
To better respond to frankly our mission, vision, and our purpose,
Oh,
and
amazing.
the mission, vision, purpose, and strategy is what's leading, and the structure has to exist to support it. So
Agree.
yeah, this is really exciting. So but based on your vast experience, Kaz, and years in Sony, what would you want to leave our viewers, listeners? uh, is there an advice? Is that some nugget of wisdom that you would like to leave our viewers with today?
Um, just recalling kind of what I have experienced in the past, kind of all the time, kind of I'm enjoying the kind of working with a very unique individual, and particularly when I look back and when I was so excited, it was a time when I spent the time with the people who were passionate about the growth and passionate
Mm,
about really kind of doing something new. Some people says the really kind of this is the really kind of advantage of the younger generation, and the senior people get to really used to their sort of fixed by their experience of being successful, and to some extent that's true. However, it's really the valued by the individual. As far as the individual is always really kind of keen to learn and then open for the new idea, the
mm.
people just keep really kind of growing. And those are the really fun time which I spend time with. And so uh, probably kind of the people who are looking at this kind of a video already proved they are very open to learn. So that mindset,
Hopefully, yes.
yeah, that mindset and that behavior is pretty very important. In addition to my really kind of a Sony's role, I was asked to really sit down on advisory several organizations, and one of the organizations really fascinated me is the startup, an AI startup who
Mm,
were really kind of a very smart engineer who want to make a change in the HR world by the power of the AI, and their sort of kind of a idea and their sort of a vision and a dream has no limit. And while I'm spending the time with them, that's really kind of the passionate, and then the remind me what I have done the in the past in as a really kind of a success, and then also probably kind of I should have done those in a different way. So the new idea is pretty kind of good for me to still learning a lot. So I would say really kind of stay open and then really kind of stay kind of learning, and then if for those who has been very successful in your career, unlearning kind of just get rid of the really kind of something successful in the past that sometimes limit our really kind of way of thinking. So let's remove those very successful career for us to just keep really kind of the growing. Those are the I would say the message to myself. So probably gonna that might be helpful to all of your audience as well.
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful. Don't ever stop learning, don't ever stop evolving, and be willing to
Mm,
unlearn because
mm,
because
mm,
as our environment is changing around us so rapidly, yeah, what was successful before may not be successful now, and it has to be observed and it has to be dealt with. So
mm.
thank you so very much for this parting comment with our viewers. So, Kazushi Ambe,
Yes.
Cass, thank you so much for joining us today. And I am very curious what your experience with the Sony University will bring in the future. Thank you so much for being our guest.
Magda, thank you so very much. I really enjoyed the session with you and the dialogue. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And to our viewers, we'll see you next month.
Okay. Yes.
Bye.
Okay.